Okay, now that we have created our 3D model, we've exported it from Shaper 3D into 3MF format, imported that into the slicer, and we've done all of the preparation that we need to on the slicer. We are now ready to print. And so we need to make sure that we know how to turn on our printer, we know how to prepare it, need to know how to make sure that it's connected to Creality Print, and then we need to be able to make sure that we know how to turn it off. So this printer is already on, so I'm going to start by showing you how to turn it off. On the screen here on the left hand side it says Home Print Ready Settings. I'm going to push on Settings, and then I'm going to click on where it says Off, and then it says Shut Down or Not. I'm going to say Yes, and then it turns off. To be able to turn it on the side, you see this round button. We're going to push that and hold that for about 3 seconds or so, and then you're going to hear it make a click. You're going to see the screen over here start turning on, and then eventually the overhead light's going to come on. While that's happening, I'm going to get a paper towel and I'm going to put some rubbing alcohol on it. We have to make sure that the print bed has absolutely no dust or grease on it. So we need to come over here. You can see that it already has this filament left over from one of the previous prints, and I'm going to remove that. So you might need to kind of like scrape it off a little bit. Be careful not to scratch the print bed. Then I'm going to take my rubbing alcohol and I'm going to just wipe this down, get off all the dust, all of the fingerprints that might be on there, any sort of grease or anything. Make sure that is clean. And then at this point I'm going to come over to the computer, and I'm going to go to Creality Print. Up at the top it says Prepare Preview Device, and before I do that I'm going to check and make sure that, just double check and make sure that my material is right. I'm not printing with PETG, I'm printing with PLA, which is a very basic filament that is easy to work with. It's not as strong as PETG. TPU is flexible, but we're not going to use that very often. Most of the time we're going to be working with PLA. I don't think we're really going to work with ABS at all. So we're going to do PLA, and now we're ready. So we're going to go to the device, and then it says device list is empty. You can add devices by scanning or manually. So we're going to say scan add, and then it's going to search for it. So with the printer being on, it should show up here, and there it is. So we have 3 Creality CR10 Smart Pro printers, and on the left hand side that'd be number 1, the middle is number 2, the one on the right is number 3, and so the one that I turned on was number 3. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to say add, and it might be a good idea to only have one printer on when you're adding this for the first time. And I added it, so it's showing up here now, and I'm going to click on this little edit button, and I'm going to make sure that I type in number 3, so that way I know in the future that that's number 3 and not one of the other ones. So at this point I'm going to go back to prepare. I'm going to click on slice. After I made sure that I have the right material, I'm going to click on slice, and now it says preview, and I can kind of look at the layer by layer as we already talked about if you would like to. But then we can click over here where it says land printing, and I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to call it Fox Cube 1, and the reason why I'm going to say 1 is so that way in the future if I make any changes and I try to reprint it, I know that this is different, that would be different than this one. I can say Fox Cube 1, if I do it again, Fox Cube 2, etc. I'm going to say confirm, and then down here at the bottom I'm going to click on where it says one-click printing. And you're going to see up here where it says print time left. That changed to 14 minutes, and you can see that it's starting to heat up here. The hotbed temp, it's supposed to be 60, right now it's 22. The nozzle temp, that's what melts the filament. You can see that that's supposed to be 210, and it's 59, 78, so it's getting hotter, and it's going to print. Okay, and one more thing is that if you click on where it says details right here, then those, so you're going to find out more information about the printer. You can see files. You could send different files to the printer. You can see kind of the temperature here, the history of that. You can see a video of what's happening at the printer and a few other things. Don't click on any of this. Don't change anything. As you learn more about printing, you can adjust different things, but for right now, we don't want to touch that.